How to make quitting marijuana simple. So the first thing that I recommend doing is to take things slow and steady. One of the issues that can come from going cold turkey off a substance is it can be too much. It can be too traumatic. And especially if one has been smoking for a long time, just quitting out of the blue can be a little too much. And what I've seen is that people that do cold turkey, they end up relapsing after a little while. They get maybe a week, 2 weeks, even sometimes a month, and they're kind of gritting their teeth through it. And so all it takes is kind of one instance, one negative day, one bad thing that happens, and then the person's right back into using because they haven't gotten used to the new environment, the new living sober, essentially living life without marijuana. So going slow and steady can really help one acclimate, and almost it becomes just a way of life instead of this huge event that has to happen in order to get sober. So this is what I did personally. Now, I will say before I dive into how I did this is that at some point you gotta go cold turkey. So even if you're doing what I'm gonna share with you in a second here, at some point it's like, okay, I've gotta just like let it go for good. If you wanna get sober for long term and really have it out of your life. So when I decided I wanna quit, I was smoking dabs. I was really into it. My tolerance was so high, I really couldn't get high off the concentrates either, and that was kind of scary. So what I did was I tried to go cold turkey like I just shared with you, and I made it about a week. And my buddy came over and he's like, dude, dude, you've been doing so well. You've made it a week. Imagine how high you're gonna get. And of course, because like I just shared, I hadn't acclimated to life without using and gotten kind of used to sobriety and living a sober life. I was like, fine, let's do it. And of course, then it was right back to the races. And also that week that I took off, it was quite painful. Like I just remember night sweats like crazy, waking up in them all night. My sheets were just drenched. Dreams were just insane. And I couldn't eat. It was like all the negative withdrawal symptoms were so present. So after that experience, I continued to use. Some things happened. I'll link one of those videos down below that shares exactly what happened and led me to quitting using. And so it took a while though to get to that point from that period where I quit. I was right back into it, like I said. I was like, oh, this didn't work. I gave it 100%. It was so painful. And I'm back at square one, so I just kind of gave up. So when I did decide to quit, what I did was I slowly weaned off. So I stopped using concentrates, got rid of those, and I just started smoking weed. So the main idea of this is that it's helpful to back off with a substance that's a little less. So for example, let's say I'm smoking weed, and weed's the thing that I want to get rid of, like just straight flower. Then I would go to maybe like CBD or something, kind of wean off slowly, like go down a level. And then the benefit of that is that you can go through the grieving process of letting it go, of saying goodbye, having a few more good nights with the weed, because again, it's a big part of our lives. Well, for me it was, and I'm guessing for you that are watching, it is a big part of your life, and it can be kind of tough to let it go. And I guarantee you there were some good times ahead with weed. It wasn't all bad. However, as you know, over time it stops working as well. And where you might be is that it's not working at all and life's just kind of in the shitter. And it's like, how did this happen? Life was so good just a little while ago. And that was a really telltale sign for me that it was time to let it go because it just wouldn't work anymore. And so again, saying goodbye, remembering those good times, letting it go, that's another benefit of going slow and steady. And so what I did is I did slow and steady with slow and steady. So I just went an hour off, and then I restarted back to my normal using. Easy, right? Anyone can go an hour. After that, I did that another hour, maybe later that day or even the next day. It's like going to the gym, right? You gotta start slow. You don't wanna go in and then put 400 pounds in the squat rack. You're gonna kill yourself. So you wanna start nice and slow. And so I did that, did an hour every other day for a while. Once that got easy, I bumped it up to 2 hours. That became pretty easy, right? You can see where this is going. 3 hours, 4 hours, half a day. I was getting to the point where I would only smoke in the evenings. I would go the whole day without using. And that was a big win for me. I felt really proud about that. I was like, holy crap. Just not so long ago, I was smoking from the minute I woke up, and now I can go almost a full day without using. However, I still wanted to use at the end of the night, and that was okay for where I was. So continuing on, what happened is that started to get a little stale. It started to get a little too easy. And I was like, I felt stuck again, right? And you know that feeling of being stuck. Absolutely sucks. And so I'm like, okay, it's time to step it up a level. It's time to step into my discomfort, step out of my comfort zone, and go a full day without using. From sunup to sundown until I wake up the next day, no using. And what I found was that I was able to do that. And it wasn't as hard as I thought. Sure, there was a few times where I had to really kind of just be like get pumped up, go out, do another hobby, go exercise or do something to kind of forget about this desire I had to use. However, I made it through. And what I found was that I woke up the next day, and because I had already been practicing going most of the day without, I ended up getting a full day and a half then, because I wouldn't wake up and wake and bake. I would wake up and then go until the evening to smoke. So I actually got some bonus time in there too. And that became really nice. I started to realize that, wow, I'm starting to live most of my life sober. I'm not smoking all the time anymore. And when I do smoke, I'll be honest, I kind of craved being back in that state of just clarity, of not needing marijuana. If you are quitting marijuana right now, you know what that's like to finally have that mental clarity. I see a lot of people comment in the comment sections that they're starting to experience that peace, that freedom, that mental clarity. And it's just like, I can just feel the excitement beaming off them. And it's like, I remember that too. I felt that exact same, just like, wow, this is nuts. All these memories were coming back. I was feeling like myself again. And so every time I would go back to smoke, I would feel uncomfortable. I'd be like, all these memories of the old life would come back, of the pain I felt when using. And I was like, ugh, I kind of just started to crave being sober again. And so what happened was I continued that pattern. And like I said, that got easy. And so I had to bump it up a notch. So I was going like a day and a half without. It's time to go 2.5 days without. And then go back to smoking. 2.5 days out, back to smoking. And this just kept building and building until, again, I was living most of my life sober. And then, like that video I shared that is going to be posted down below, you guys can check it out, that shows the last night I smoked weed. And what really drove me to quit is once that happened, I was like, okay, because I had trained myself over the last couple months to get off the weed, to have sobriety, to live most of my life without marijuana, that once I finally said, okay, I had enough is enough, I'm done for good, it was a lot less painful and it was almost natural. It just kind of, I didn't have to feel those intense withdrawal symptoms that so many of you are talking about in the comments, and that I experienced as well when I was going cold turkey. And it just kind of flowed. It just kind of, my smoking life went up in smoke, you could say. And I do that now with every addiction I have. When something comes up, I've been dealing with some here and there. I do that same thing. I go slow and steady. I allow myself to enjoy the days that I am using, and then I get disciplined on the days I'm not, and really focus. And though on pen and paper it might seem like it's going to take longer, in reality it's actually faster, because you're not going through that intense withdrawal period, then weaning back, then going cold turkey, and then relapsing, and then just that whole process, and that can last for so many years. When I quit sugar, that's what I did. I didn't take it slow and steady. I went gung-ho every single time, and it took about 2 years to quit. So again, in my mind and in my experience, slow and steady is actually faster than cold turkey, ironically. So guys, if you got value from this video, like, comment, subscribe. Comment down below what your experience has been with quitting. If you're trying cold turkey, if you're willing to try this slow and steady approach, let me know. And I'm very curious to know, and I'll definitely reach out to you and we can have a little chat about it. And also, if you are on this process and you want a little help, a little boost, some tips that can help you get through this withdrawal period, this change in your life, then I invite you to download the free How to Get Sober in 2023 PDF guide. This can relate to any addiction besides just marijuana, especially if you're smoking marijuana. And all you gotta do is enter your email, it'll be sent right to your inbox, and hopefully it can give you some insights and tips and some things to do when you're sitting at home at night craving marijuana. And also, if you are interested in one-on-one accountability, a personalized game plan for you to get sober, and someone to just check in with on a weekly, day-to-day basis. And then I invite you to click the link down below. We can schedule a Zoom call and see if we'd be a good fit together, and if I can be of help to you and help you get to your sobriety goals. So with that, guys, have a great one and talk to you soon. Peace.